Happy Sunday to you, everyone. I hope all is wonderful today. Now, we're going to get in here and talk some more. This is a continuation of some of the things that we spoke about is how to get some money for your business. How about that? Now, the funding is out here, but we're mainly talking about grants. We want to get prepared for them. And I don't want to just tell you that you need to have a business plan and it needs to be detailed and it needs to be structured correctly and it needs to say specific requirements or specific requests of you and your business. And so let's get right in and just talk about some of the things. And if you stay to the end, I have a great nugget for you, a strategy that will help you to get funding and secure and a substantial amount of funding, and it's almost 80 to 90% sure that you will increase your chances of getting approved for any grant that you've applied for. And you may even be a repeat customer if you try to do and implement the strategy that I give you in the end. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope that you're doing wonderful. Remember, you're created for greatness. You have so much to give. Don't be afraid to reach out here, get out here, and accept the opportunities that is here for you in your business. Please don't be afraid. So let's get out here and make it happen. Okay. Now, the first thing in the business plan for any funding that you're going to get substantially, and this will be good for you. A business plan will definitely be good for you anyway. It's going to be good for you to help you to just see clearly of the in the direction that you're going in your business. So you're in a win-win-win situation if you go ahead and do some of these things, right? Okay, now the bottom line is you want to give a 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 year projection. Now that's going to be, I know it sounds overwhelming right now, but just stay hanging here with me, stay with me, and I'm going to break it down. Going to break it down real quick. Here again, this is all broken down. If you be a part of the community, if you take one of my courses, if you work with me one-on-one, all of this will be handled. Okay. All right. So it sounds overwhelming, but just hang in there with me. Okay. Now, like I said, whatever funding you're going to need for your business, you can get, you can break it all down. Okay. And that way, that is if you're going to need any a facility renovations, whether you're going to need startup capital, whether you're going to need staff salary, whether you're going to need startup operating capital, whatever it is, it can be all of them. It all depends on what you're looking for. Make sure, next thing, make sure that you have your mission, your vision, and your values of what you're going to be about. That's so important because you can connect with the right company, organization, or funding venture capitalist, whomever. You may be somewhere sitting in a restaurant and you may come across someone that just really might be an investor and they just want to give their money to somebody that, just they're tired of people begging them for money and saying, hey, hey, can I have money for this? Can I have money for that? And they are not, they're probably sick and tired of those kind of people. Might be relatives, friends, or whomever. But if you sit down and you've written out your plan, if you've studied what you want to do and you've already organized and you've put it down, put pen to paper, and and you've already established your presentation in your mind, and also in a format, in a digital format, some things might just happen positive for you. Okay. Now, with a mission statement, I know you hear mission, vision, and value all the time, but when in a mission statement, you want to give the mission, what your business is going to do to help the customer. Okay, that's just the bottom line. How is it going to help them? What is going to be that main problem you're solving, right? And then the vision is, what are you going to become the number one business in that particular city, the area, over the globe, or in the United States, somewhere else? And what are how are you going to be different? Okay, what are you doing? Are you bridging a gap somewhere, or you're maximizing the potential that can be for someone else? And there's all kind of ways that vision can come to life. Okay, but your vision, you already know what you want to do. Now, the last portion of this, what I'm speaking of too, is the values. the values. Is it for the community? Is it for, your value? Is it integral? Is it you're going to give excellent services? Is it accessibility? Things like that. Whatever it is, you know that. You know exactly what's in your mind and in your heart and what you can do and what you plan on doing, right? Okay. Now, also, the next thing is make sure that you have any kind of service, any kind of program, anything that you are going to do in this business, and what are you going to, this is almost coming up to your niche. Who is that person that you're going to serve, or that group of people you're going to serve, and what are the specifics of it? Okay. And what kind of preventive thing is there? If there is something involved preventive wise, what is it? Put that there. Put it there. I'm telling you. And you're going to win big time. Okay. All right. And also, what are some of your future goals? With what are you doing? Are you just going to say, I'm going to do A, B, or C, or D? No, you can't stop there. You cannot stop there. Put in that future expansion. Whatever you're going to do within the next, that's why I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Is it going to be, you're going to open up another area, another department into what are you already doing, or whether you might even have an addition like a mobile service, or something that's going to be like a concierge, or whatever kind of business you have. Every business doesn't need this kind of thing. I'm just giving an example. Okay. So just whatever it is, you get it, whether it's you have a facility, or you have a business that's going to need an additional equipment that's going to be able to run a little smoother in the future. What is it? Okay. Sometimes this can help you, that complimentary service. What is that complimentary service that you will have in the future now? Okay. Put that down. Now, let's get into the targeting and the marketing and the demographic area. Okay. Now, you are going to be very, 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 very accurate with this. And it's not hard to do. It's not hard to find the information, is what I'm saying. The population that you're going to serve, and it gives you a round. You can find this with the data, the census data, you can find this anywhere. Okay. And then you can always kind of read up on it, find articles about it, knowing what what population you're going to serve, and then what is the demographic. Is it going to be children? Is it going to be adults? Is it going to be men, women, a combination? What is it going to be? And then also, what is going to be their needs? And whatever business you have, you will have already done the research, and you probably already know pretty much what's going on, and what is that pain point, what is that problem, that pain point. Okay. And then also that segment of people, because that's going to help you with the marketing. When you do the segmentation, this is a part of the market. What kind of, is it going to be families? Is it going to be a certain working adults? Is it going to be this? It's going to be that. So this is that segment is going to be that marketing piece. Okay. And that's not all the marketing pieces. And then also give a forecast of that market, whatever your market is. Let's say, for instance, you're going to have how many, let's say, how you're going to serve how many customers in a certain amount of time. I would advise you to do like the 1 year first, then go and do the 2 year, then do the 3 to 5 year, things like that. You can do that. And then you always do like a percentage of it, like a percentage increase. First, the second year is probably going to be a 10% increase. Then on to the 3 to 5 year, it'll probably be a 20 increase. Okay. And so you make sure that you do all of that. You get your numbers together, but you will have already done that. It won't be too bad for you to find out this information, because all that other things I mentioned to you, this is why you got to take it step by step. And so it won't be overwhelming to you, and it's not that hard. It really won't. But if you need my services, I'm here. I'm here. And so let's get on and talk about a little bit about the competition. Now, there is other businesses that may be doing the same thing that you're doing, and that's why you're going to have to put your best foot forward, show them, learn a little bit about the competition to the point that you can add services that they don't have. Maybe you can find out what's going on in the news about them. Maybe you can go somewhere that may have information about them. They have list survey, customer surveys. Google, sometimes a lot of businesses have that information about the customer service and what are people saying. They're doing surveys. They have all kind of testimonials there about the people, about the companies, and some are good and some are bad. And so this is a little nugget here for you. This is where you can find out that great information. Okay. All right. Now, one of the next thing is, like I've mentioned to you, about the unique selling proposition. You are going to put your best foot forward and give out the difference in what you're going to make. Okay. What you see from what you've already explored from other businesses and what you've already heard out here, and make sure that that you're accurate, and make sure that you are going to do exactly what you say you're going to do and make a difference. Okay. And over time in your business, I know when you first start out, you just want to kind of get the flow of everything, and so I think that's understandable. Now the next thing is your operation and your things, whatever the business operation. You want to make sure that you got that, and you letting them know in the business plan about that, the staffing, who you're going to need. It wouldn't hurt to even have a general information of the job description of each person that's going to help, and see that way they can see all the other information that you've put before this, and then they can see whether that's fluff or not, because you would have already thought this thing out really good, and you've already said, okay, well, this person can do this. And a lot of times that people know, and companies know, and the grantors know when you are just blowing smoke and when you're not. They know that. And so also you want to really stress how those services is going to be, how your standard of operating procedures is going to be. Okay, so you need to kind of, if not do a draft of that, write that out, your standard of operating procedures, keep that in mind, and then you put that in your business plan as well too. And this is for you getting the funding, the grants, and this is going to be powerful for you. Okay, it's going to definitely be powerful. Okay, let's say if there's any kind of safety things that any kind of compliances that comes with your business, any kind of risk management, put that in there too, and let them know how you're going to avoid some situation and circumstances that may just happen. So you see, a lot of people may not be thinking about this, and a lot of businesses may not be thinking on this level. But when you do this, you're gonna win. You are going to, because you're thinking a little bit different than everybody else. Like, oh wow, okay, I see that. Yes. So this is something that you don't want to pass up on. Okay. And then the next thing is, like I said, with your staff and the team that you're going to have, give them understanding this here too. Make sure you give them fair wages. Sometimes you may want to give them a little more than the average, and you can find that information out too. And make sure that your team is everybody that you're going to need. If you're going to need some, just not right now, if you need some within the next year or two, then put that information there, stating that you won't need them until a certain amount of time. So this is all part of, see, that what I'm telling you now is all a part of the plan, all a part of the business plan. Yes. And then so also there's another aspect to marketing that I know you have all heard about, and you just don't want to, you just don't want to forget this. Don't forget this. Don't forget this now. You want to do your marketing and community outreach at some point, whether it's going to be events, you're going to give events, you're going to give workshops, you're going to have webinars, you're going to have information sessions, you're going to have groups, social media groups, maybe a Facebook group, to probably even go to your local television station or radio station when you are doing things for your business, getting ready to kind of get it out there, and let them know even about the grand opening. But you want to put this in your package, and that way the grantors say, oh, okay, well, they are setting themselves up for success, and that's what they want to see too. And they also want to know how you can align with them. Okay. And then also, You need to make sure that you do your financial projections. I think I mentioned that a little earlier. From one, do the 1 year, then do your 3, then do your 5 year. So make sure, because the 1 to 2 years, like I said, those can come together. Because every grantor and every business and every venture capitalist, they know how it's going to be that first year. Okay, so it's especially if you thoroughly thought it out, and then as you're working along in your plan, you may even find out some things that you can add that I didn't even mention that may help you. So you want to be able to put in your salaries, put in your rents, your supplies, your insurances if you need them. Don't forget about that kind of insurance, the liabilities, the marketing, all those sorts of things. And make sure that you know your break even point. Your break even is, okay, after all of my expenses, when will I make a profit? That's what break even means. After all of my expenses. And that's why you have to count the cost. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know, what is it going to require? What is it going to take financially for this to come to pass? Okay. So that's the bottom line. Bottom line, people. And then also making sure that you know if there's any kind of, the major part is that startup cost, making sure that if there's any renovations that you need to be done to a building, any other things, anything that you need to get ready, any kind of training you need to, train your employees, whatever it is to get started, your legal fees, your insurance, your marketing, whatever it is that's consistent of your startup, in order to be able to get you up and running in that business, you need that in that plan. Okay. Alrighty. And then also making sure that you're knowing where you can find, if you don't use me as your to help you with grants, but when I work with my clients, I already give you, and I already know where, I know where to look for you for its grant. But make sure that you're seeking grants constantly, and knowing, because listen, every niche has a certain, they have a certain pool. There's a certain pool or genre of grants that is for the specific business idea. And I can help with that more, as if I'm working with someone one-on-one, I can kind of tell you that. But if not, then you have to search, or you can just learn from this community here. Yeah, from them, when we get ready to do the next grant class. Okay. And then also, one of the things, a few more things too, that you just need to just be very cautious of is making sure that you are in compliance. The risk management and any kind of litigation, please plan for that. Okay. Make sure that you got things set up in your business. That way, if anything come down, meaning like contracts, there's privacy rules, terms of use, whatever it is, just make sure that you got that in them. How would you have that set up? Because grantors and venture capitalists, they don't want to be giving you money and you're not covering that aspect, because they understand that things can happen, legally or whatever. Things can happen. All right. And so, yes. And so another thing is making sure that you're keeping up with your key performance, your KIPs, your key performance indicators. That is making sure that you are measuring where you are. You hear, okay, we started in April. Okay, what's going on by June? Keep up with everything. That way you may have to shift sometimes, but put all of that, how you're going to implement that. The first year you're in business, the second year you're in business, and the third year you're in business. Okay. And so making sure that you're constantly, making plans and setting goals of how you're going to do that, how you're going to make that app, how you're going to overcome any kind of obstacles that your business is going to have, because you are going to run across some. I don't care who you are. Now, the next thing is making sure that you are very, very detailed on what kind of impact you're going to make. You're going to make an economical impact, and you're going to make an industry, whatever industry you're in, you're going to make an industry impact, and you may make a social impact, and you may have, your vision may even expand during this time. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And that's what I wanted to just kind of share with you. that's going to be a part of your major part, people, of your grant proposal being bar none exceptionable to anybody else. And oh, also the key thing that I wanted to mention to you in the nugget that I want to give you in the strategy that I want to give you, if you are local, let's say for instance, some of the major companies that's in your local area, find out which one would intertwine or would be complementary or be someone that can, say for instance, if you wanted to partner with them. Sometimes you don't have to partner with the business, but if they have, because most of them, a lot of times they have research and development funding, they have grant money for that as well. And sometimes you can go in, whoever the person is in that department, you can go knocking on doors and making some things happen for yourself with those opportunities that are there within their companies. Okay. And so I won't get into detail, but I have one that I'm working with one of my clients, and I got to meet with them on Wednesday of next week. But however, what's the beauty of that is I'm giving them a presentation, and I'm going on their behalf because they paid me to go on their behalf. Okay. So if you don't invest in yourself, you have to do this yourself. Okay. And so what I am going to do is present the presentation, and then if I was working with somebody long distance or whatever, I would present the presentation or just help them get the presentation together. And a lot of this information that I mentioned to you, that's what I will be presenting to them, because it will show where and how that they can benefit, or if they help, this is what can happen. And some major companies may be in your cities of whoever's listening to this, and so you may just want to use that as a strategy. Yeah. And I'm willing to bet you will probably get most of the support that you would need. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that was a nugget that helped you. Okay. All right. Well, it was beautiful talking to you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And remember, you are created for greatness. You have greatness within you. All right. And you can be and do anything you want to do. You just got to strategize, put your mind to it, and you got to make it happen. You got to do the work. Do the work. All right. All right. This is Sandy. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye. Y'all have a good day. Bye bye.